of judges coming into the Supreme Court and the High Courts at this moment. You spoke of social media. As a consequence of Twitter, Facebook, there's now a lot of trolling. We've heard some oral observations about it. Do you, Chief Justice, follow social media? Are you seeing what is being said about you on Twitter, for example, where everybody seems to have an opinion, everybody seems to know, everybody seems to think they know more than the Chief Justice?
I don't know if this is a confession, but I don't follow Twitter. Just for the reason that I think, it's important for us not to be affected by the cacophony of extreme views which you sometimes find on Twitter. But I have a view on Twitter as well. And I think that, social media is a product of the times, not just a product of technology, but a product of our times. See, 20 or 30 years ago, when you had, say, 3 or 4 mainstream newspapers reporting from the Supreme Court, you had the beat reporters sitting in the Supreme Court, and they'll pick out an odd case to report. Social media has changed all that. There's live tweeting of every word that is said in the court. Now, that puts an enormous amount of burden on us as well. In our courts, much of the argument which takes place is a dialogue between the bar and the bench. It's not just an address where one lawyer will speak, the judges will keep quiet, the other lawyer will speak, the judges will keep quiet, at the end of it, announce your verdict. That's not the way it is. It's a conversation. It's so typical of our culture. We interrupt each other, we joke, we have serious arguments, there's a little bit of camaraderie even between opponents, so on and so forth. Now, what happens really is this, that what is expressed in a court during the course of a hearing is not the expression of the ultimate view which a judge is going to take. Suppose you are arguing before me, or a lawyer is arguing before me. There are 2 types of judges. One, and I've appeared before both, I don't know which category I belong to. One type of judges consists of those who play the devil's advocate. Whoever is arguing will get the stick, in the sense the judge will try and find deficiencies in the argument. The other kind of judges are judges who will stretch an argument to its logical conclusion. So if you are making a point, the judge will stretch your argument and test the limits of the point which you are making. So you have 2 different personalities, judges who play the devil's advocates and a judge who will stretch your argument. He will take your argument to its logical conclusion. The lawyer feels very nice about it as well. Now, what happens as a result of social media is that when there is an expression of opinion by the judge, the public seems to believe that this is the way the judge is going to ultimately decide, which is far from the truth. A case is not decided until the last word in the case is said. And I know of so many cases where I have really changed my view, probably at the last minute of the argument, because something very seminal was said at the end of the argument. That's what an open court hearing is all about. And lawyers always tell us this in court, that we are fearful of judges who keep their mouth shut. Because if a judge is quiet in a hearing and doesn't tell you how they believe or what they feel about a case, you don't know which way the judge's mind is working. It's only when the judge is open that you can answer the judge's doubts. But social media sometimes doesn't follow that, or citizens don't follow that. And I don't blame them, because everybody is not conversant with the processes of the court. So what is the answer? The answer is not to have a more closed system, but to have a more open system, so that people really truly understand the nature of the judicial process.